Welcome back to the channel. This is Andrew, running with Dr. Andrew, and today I'd like to talk to you about IT band syndrome. Alright guys, about a few days ago I ran a marathon and did really well, but I did create a little bit of IT band syndrome. So what that is kind of a friction type of injury on the outside of your knee, and it can be quite painful there. It wasn't painful until afterwards, and so it just kind of irritates. And then we call it painful arc. There's only a certain range of motion that causes that pain, and then mostly whenever you're bending your knee is what causes that pain there. And typically how it's injured is either weakness of the hips or a lot of downhill or uneven roads that you're running on. That seems to kind of cause the pain. So this race I was running a little faster than anticipated, and so I was creating a little bit of eccentric loading on the IT band syndrome. IT band, just called iliotibial band. And so the elevation gain is about 1,100 feet, and also lost 1,100 feet, so a lot of downhill as well. So I think that might be what contributed to the issue there. And also I'm a person that does, I do a crisscross type of gait sometimes, where my left foot does kind of go in front of my right foot just slightly there. First thing that you can do to help out with your IT band syndrome is kind of watch what your gait is doing. If you are crossing over, especially crossing over downhill, that may be contributing to some of it. Also, you want to make sure if you're going too fast, too quickly, or increasing your mileage too much, that definitely can cause some more pain and more stress on the IT band syndrome. So one thing you can do is you can imagine yourself riding a bike. Now, not necessarily bring your legs way apart, but when you run, you want to make sure that you're not crossing over, and that you can imagine your right leg on the line and your left leg is right next to the line there, and that way you keep your knees apart rather than close together. So sometimes if you can videotape yourself running, if you see the window, if you see a window between your knees, you're not crossing over. But if you don't see a window, you're probably crossing over there. All right, guys, let's get after the run there. Lastly, that you can do is do some, after you get done, you can definitely do some foam rolling of the tensor fasciae lata, which is a muscle on top of your hip, and then also the quadricep muscle there too. So that those are all the muscles that are attached to the IT band, as well as the glute muscles. Those are very important to kind of help out with. And then again, stretching the IT band syndrome may not be the best thing for you, just because it's a very strong ligament type of tissue, so it takes a lot of force to stretch it. And so your best option is to roll out those tensor fasciolata, the quadricep muscles, the glutes, the hamstrings, all those muscles that are attached to that IT band syndrome. So a couple other things that you can do to help out with your IT band syndrome is also doing some self-massage on the muscle called the vastus lateralis. It's a muscle on the outside of your thigh, and so sometimes that muscle can actually cause pain down the outside of your knee. And so you definitely can do some massage there, put some pressure on those trigger points. The trigger points a tight fiber in your muscle that doesn't release, so definitely you can work with that muscle there and do some foam rolling on that muscle, whatever you got to kind of help that out there. And also obviously you can do some strengthening, so doing some strengthening on a exercise called hip abduction. So you lift your leg up while laying on the side and you hold it for about 3 seconds and slowly come back down. That's definitely helps create better stability, because sometimes the hips will kind of dip down a little bit, and that will create some more pressure on the outside part of your knee there, and also that quadricep muscle. And then also you can do some hip extension type of exercise on the ball. Put your feet on top of the ball and do a bridge to help with the gluteal activation. That definitely will help out with your strengthening, hopefully help prevent any type of injuries on your IT band syndrome. And so this concludes this video on IT band syndrome. Hope everyone's week is going well. This week is going good. So far I've ran about 6 miles, so definitely taking it a little easy this week, just because we're recovering from the marathon on Saturday. And then we'll gradually kind of increase my mileage there too. So, all right, hope everyone keeps safe out there, keep running, and we'll see you next time.
In a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race, every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way.